news! You've been sent to the world of a popular anime. But there's also bad news. That popular anime, it's Attack on Titan! Is there any way to survive this world of giant humanoid monsters? Well, that's what we're here to find out today. We're gonna be going over tactics you could use if you wanted to survive in the world of Attack on Titan. So, surviving long-term in this world is a pretty lofty goal. After all, Attack on Titan is an anime where people die left and right all the time. So if you, the average person, were dropped into this world, it would be difficult to survive. Even a talented person would have trouble surviving. This focus here is going to be on how to survive the initial Titan attack from the beginning of the anime, right when the Titans breached Wall Maria, essentially the inciting incident for everything that goes forward in the show. Let's picture ourselves as an average person living in Eren's town. It's on a late medieval or early Renaissance level of technology and isolated from the rest of the world, so even before the Titans attacked, you probably wouldn't have the best quality of life. It would be a tough life, but it would still be manageable. But as any Attack on Titan fan knows, the day the wall was breached was the day that everything changed forever. So hypothetically, let's just put ourselves somewhere near Eren when the Colossal Titan first breached for the wall. Now, most people are probably panicking. After all, by this point, you've likely seen the scouts come back from an unsuccessful Titan hunt. A lot of people are about to die. The force of the Colossal Titan breaking down the wall is probably comparable to a tornado or hurricane. Just look at the way the buildings are literally blown away by this. Plus, the wall being broken down creates a lot of debris that goes flying through the air and can easily injure you. You've got to remember, these walls are huge, over 50 meters in height and incredibly thick. Even if you survive the impact of one of these rocks landing on you, you'll probably bleed out soon. So where is the safest place to be when the Colossal Titan breaks through the wall? Well, at first anyway, that would be the basement, preferably one with no windows. Much like a tornado in real life, this would be safe, since you'd be protected from the heavy winds and falling rubble that gets tossed around. However, there are some downsides too. If the house collapses above you, there's a very real chance of getting trapped in the basement. On one hand, that does mean that the Titans won't kill you, but that also means a long death by starvation unless you find some way to tunnel your way out and force your way through the remains of the house. Even if the house doesn't collapse, staying in the basement is not a good investment unless you're some kind of doomsday prepper with 10 years worth of canned food in the cellar. Besides, even if you did have a food supply, we wouldn't recommend it, because if you stay down there too long, you'll be stuck with nothing but Titans outside. Your best hope for long-term survival after the initial breach would be to do exactly what Eren, Mikasa, and Armin did. Get to the boat and do it fast. As we quickly learned, there is nowhere near enough room for everybody to make it to the next layer of the walls alive. Obviously, we want to make it out of the situation alive, so the best we can hope for is to rush to where the boats are as fast as you can and pray that you're able to get on board before they're at full capacity. If they are, then there's a pretty good chance that you're gonna be left for dead. Just look at how many people are left on the riverbank when the boat with Eren leaves. So with how many people there are and how few boats, that may just be your fate. Now you can attempt to jump onto a boat as it's leaving. We do see several people try this. Of course, it's incredibly risky. If you fall off, you're likely going to be injuring yourself, or worse, you could hit your head and knock yourself out during the fall. Plus, even if you do manage to pull yourself onto the boat, there's no guarantee you'll be allowed to stay on. People may not take too kindly to you forcing your way on board and throw you off the boat. Of course, jumping may still be worth a shot. There's also the possibility of swimming down the river yourself, however, this is not a choice we'd recommend. Being able to keep up the energy the whole way down the river is something easier said than done. First, your clothes would weigh you down, and even without them, it would be a long time just swimming. Even if this works, there's also a good chance they won't let you through the gates. After all, the Survey Corps doesn't exactly have a good reason to let weird swimming guys through the gates. Now, you could try to get around that by diving underwater and swimming past anyone guarding the gate. This might work, but there's a lot that can also go wrong too. Getting on the boat is the most reliable, but swimming either behind or alongside the boat is a lot more dangerous, so we'd rather avoid that if we can. So, what are some other ways to get inside Wall Rose if you couldn't get on the boats? Because, trust us, you will not survive long-term outside the walls with all the Titans walking around. Scaling the wall is completely out of the question unless you're Spider-Man. These walls are dozens of meters high with no easy handholds for you to grip onto. Digging under the wall is an even more ridiculous idea. It would take days to get even close to tunneling under the wall, and that's just the time you would not have. The same goes for tunneling through the wall itself, which is probably an even worse idea. But there may be another way to scale the wall. A lot of people already died during the attack, including members of the Scouts. If you're able to find a dead scout, then that might be your ticket to survival. If you can find some ODM gear, then you may be able to use it to scale the wall yourself. Of course, this still presents itself with a lot of dangers. Using it properly would be pretty difficult if you've never used it before, plus it's not like you'd have much time to practice. However, with a bit of skill and a lot of luck, it may just work. Skilled members of the Survey Corps are able to use the ODM gear to navigate in any direction, hence the name omnidirectional movement gear. Of course, even the cadets have trouble using the ODM gear at first, so trying to figure it out on the fly is a very slim chance, but it's a chance all the same. So if you're able to figure out how to properly use it, you can get yourself up over wall rows and into the inner city. We know it sounds like a long shot, but if you're not able to get on the boat, then this really is the best chance you've got. So if you get inside wall rows, then what? Well, things still don't look very good. The truth is the world of Attack on Titan is incredibly bleak. Even if you survive the initial breaching of Wall Maria, the world of Attack on Titan will still be incredibly difficult to survive. If you join up with the cadets, you've got a high chance of dying on the job, but trying to live your life as a normal person also wouldn't give you a very good life, especially with how dangerous the world of Attack on Titan increasingly gets. Your best chance for survival after getting inside wall rows is trying to get a position for yourself as a member of the military police. You'd be able to get inside the third wall that way, which would afford you a lot more protection, at least for a time. With the power of hindsight, we know that joining the military police may not actually be the best choice, with the rebellion and all. However, compared to the Scouts, garrison, or civilian life, being in the military police may just be the best idea. But to be honest, surviving for a long time in the world of Attack on Titan isn't realistic. But these are just a few ideas of how you could try and save yourself. What do you think? Are there any useful tips we missed?